Hare Ayano Viraka Tarua Juhava Pute Titanmayataya Taravo Benedus Tam Sarvabhu Vidayam Munimanatosmi Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Chaktasya Kamali Tarangamaki Kripamai Tvam Sharanam Prapadam Grinde Namaste Charanarvindam Tavoy Vasmi Najivami Tambina Iti Vikyaya Radhe Tam Nayana Charanantike Kripayati Yadiradha Bhagita Sheshabhada Kimapalavishishtam Pushti Maya Deyorme Yadi Vadati Chakinchit Smeya Soditasya Dvijavaramani Pamukya Mukti Shukya Tadakim Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekhar Smeya Samurali Manohara Radhika Sikamam Kripadite Swapya Charanam Kari Prananata Vrishabhanandini Srimakaja Salola Sadapada Radhika Paratale Kritasitim Tam Vajami Rasikendra Shekhar Sambadaya Dashane Trinam Vibhu Prartaye Brajamahendra Nandana Astu Mohandavati Bharava Janma Janmani Varishwari Priya. If Sri Radha is merciful to me, then unlimited obstacles to my devotion will be removed. How many obstacles do we have? Unlimited. There will be nothing superior for me to attain, because I will have received the excellence offered by the paths of both Vaidhi and Rag. And if she speaks something while smiling gently, thereby revealing the brilliance of the rows of her pearl-like teeth, what significance will the oyster of liberation have? O Shyamasundar, O you whose head is adorned with peacock feathers, whose face is graced with a laughing smile, whose murli flute enchants the mind, and who are most expert in relishing ras with Srimati Radhika. O ocean of mercy, please make me a kinkari maidservant at the feet of your beloved. You are the Lord of the life of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, and you are like a bee, eager to taste the nectar of her lotus-like face. O Rasikendra Shekhar, foremost of those who are Rasik, who are situated at the feet of Srimati Radhika, I worship you. O son of the king of Braj, O all-pervading one,
O Mohan, who enchants the minds of all. Taking a piece of straw in my teeth, I pray that your supremely beloved Sri Radha be my dear worshipful goddess, birth after birth. First, I offer my unlimited obeisances and the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Diksha Gurudev, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotra Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and the same unlimited obeisances in the dust of the lotus feet of my most worshipful Shiksha Gurudevs, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Astotra Sat Shri Srimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to our Param Gurudevs, Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshava Goswami Maharaj and Shri Srimad Bhakti Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, to all of his divine associates, to all the assembled devotees, and to the assembled devotees, Diksha Gurus, or my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Madhav Maharaj, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Ban Maharaj, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhanti Maharaj. So the last few days have been extremely auspicious, wonderful days. And today is another wonderful day. It is even more important, Srila Gurudev said, than Janmashtami, which is Krishna's birthday. It's Ekadasi. Ekadasi. Sharda asked if we could have regular classes on harmony, which is very nice to discuss on Ekadasi, and some of the glories of, or glories, rules and regulations, pastimes in relation to Ekadasi. And then we can also go, where I think we're in the hellish planets now. We started almost. We can start today, the hellish planets. Does anybody go to the hellish planets just at random? Why do we go there? Because of our sinful activities. Does anything happen to us that's not a reaction to our simple activities? No, I'm sorry. Does anything happen that seems adverse to us that's not a result of our past sinful activities? Gurudev wants to teach us something because we need to learn it because of our minimal secretes due to many sinful activities on the background. Now, how can unlimited obstacles be removed? Right. Okay. So, regarding harmony, would you like to get the book, Sarda? So one thing that I remembered in that regard is that we subtitled, the GVP devotees subtitled the various sections. And one is, I hit him first. That is, if I hit someone, or punch someone, and then somebody gets angry with me and punches me back twice as hard, can I blame that person? Oh yes, that's right. That subtitle is called I cheated him first. If I cheat somebody and then someone, from my point of view, cheats me twice as bad, then can I blame that person? Because I cheated him first. Does anybody ever cheat me or punch me if I haven't cheated them or punched them first? No. All good answers. I think you all know the story of the boy who was bitten by a snake, right? Haridas knows it, Madhu knows it. Does anybody else know it? You do? The old lady? Good. Does anybody not know it? Okay. I'll tell it very quickly then, since many know it. So there was an old lady, very beautiful, very religious, great devotee, had a son, 9 years old, 10 years old, asked him to go pick flowers for her worship in the morning. He got bitten by a snake who was hiding in the bush, and he died. A hunter came, charmed the snake, put the snake in a basket, put the boy over his arms, went to the mother. Mother started wailing, asked the mother to kill the snake, that he wanted to kill the snake. She said, will that bring back my son? He said no. She said, then forget it, don't do it. He said, but then he might bite someone else. No, still don't do it. Still, the hunter wanted to do it, so he started to slice the snake when the snake started talking. Don't blame me. I've been in this bush for years, and I've never bitten anybody. If you want to blame anybody, blame time. Then the personification of time appeared, Kal. And he said, don't blame me. The time that your son was going to get the sinful reaction came to fruition. In their past lives, the boy was a boy, and the snake was a boy. And your boy killed, this boy killed that boy. So the boy came back as a snake to take revenge. So nothing happens without warrant. Since yesterday was Srila Bhakti Ballabhtirtha Goswami Maharaj's appearance day, a few appearance days ago, Vasanti and I were watching a video of him, and he said, you have had so many births of fruitive activities, sinful fruitive activities. So don't blame anybody or any situation that you consider causes you grief. It's all a reaction to that. Really, Guru is one because they're all saying the same thing. I wrote some, I'll show you what pride does. While we were chanting Radha Kunda Tattva and Hare Krishna, I was remembering some things I wanted to say, and I jotted it down. And I was so proud of myself that I could sing and write at the exact same time. So now I'm looking at the notes I wrote, and I can't remember what they refer to. So that's a reaction to my pride. What comes before the pride? Fall comes as a result of pride. Okay, so now a few words about Ekadasi. So Ekadasi is celebrated on the 11th day of the new moon, 11th day of the full moon. At that time, the ocean waters raise. They raise up to meet the moon. They don't get there, but they raise up due to the moon. And similarly, in the body, water rises. So if we take foods that are cooked by grains, then the grains in the body act like a bladder. And as the water is rising, the bladder keeps the water and it can't escape. So therefore we get sick. Just like you have to take off from work. Nobody here works, but people who work in the world, all the institutions, companies, they all give a day or two off, because if they don't, their employees won't be able to continue, because you need rest. Even here, we'd like the devotees to take a day off so you can rest and recuperate. Similarly, there are a lot of insects and bacteria in the body, and they also need rest and recuperation. Otherwise, they get sick, and the bodies that they're in get sick too. So that's another reason. And then not only grains and beans, but there are many prohibited foodstuffs, as you know, like eggplants, what else? Honey, sesame seeds, greens, tomato, parmo, bitter melon. And we don't eat those because within those foodstuffs, sinful reactions are stored. So if we eat them, then we get the results of sinful activities. Yes. Loud?
Like the other day, we had like garanga potatoes and paneer. It was on Ram Nomi. It was a feast. But then it's like, okay, so you can eat like a pound of cheese, but you can't have like a cinnamon stick. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some things that are like, what is wrong with cinnamon bark? It's good for your body. It's light. It's just a bark. It's not even for. Doesn't even feel like it's a sense gratification because it's just like literally a tea bark.
It's interesting how by Krishna's will, certain foods carry sinful reactions. And I'm very glad you brought that up because Gurudev and our acharyas explained that Ekadasi is not for feasting on appropriate foodstuffs. Now I'll take juice. A half hour later, I'll take some rubbery. And then a half hour later, I'll take some garanga potatoes. Well, I'll take seconds. Well, I'll take thirds. That's not Ekadasi. Ekadasi means anu kalpa, which means anu, very minimal eating. And more importantly than the eating even is the meaning of upavas. On upavas, we take anukalpa. Anukalpa means a little bit of the right foodstuffs. And of course, real Ekadasi, full Ekadasi, is to eat once the day before, nothing for 24 hours, and then once the day after. Gurudev explains in a letter all the details, if anyone can do it, according to capacity, according to bhakti, and according to physical capacity. Like Gurudev told me in 1992, don't fast on Ekadasi. I had already tried a few times and got sick the next day. So he told me, don't fast on Ekadasi because you are like a soldier made out of a palm leaf, and the slightest breeze and you blow over. So for me, it's an austerity not to fast. It's the austerity of Guru Seva. But anyway, anukalpa, you know, upavas means yes.
How do we know those specific foodstuffs hold the sin? Like, where is that stated?
Where is that stated? I asked Gurudev on, that's a Madhav Maharaj question. I'll ask that today. But sometimes when people ask me a question and I say that's a Madhav Maharaj question,
I'll send you a WhatsApp.
yeah. Even not only on Ekadasi, but on Janmashtami and other fasting days, incarnations, appearance days, I asked Gurudev if on these days, which is also observed as Ekadasi, these foodstuffs contain sinful reactions, and he said yes. So I will find out.
Also, why did like
Can you speak louder or take the mic?
if those foods like have sinful sins in them, then why did Srila Prabhupada allow them on Ekadasi? Because he basically made it very easy and just said no grains, but like cinnamon, for example, or like certain spices, he still allowed.
Good question. Does everybody understand the question? So that's true. Those of us have been there then. We only knew about grains and beans. And those were the great feast days because Prabhupada taught the devotees how to make really excellent varieties of foodstuffs. There are old cookbooks that tell those recipes.
Even tomatoes, he didn't get rid of tomatoes.
Yeah, only beans and grains. Not even carrots. Like carrots we're never supposed to take. Gurudev explained that you get the same results as eating meat, which is that you get violent and lusty. So why did he do that is the question. Like nowadays, can you sit properly? Unless it hurts. Does it hurt? All right, then don't worry about it. As I told the story many times.
In Boston in 1969, when the Radha Govinda deities were being installed, Prabhupada was going around and he was telling everybody, sit properly, sit properly, sit properly. And he said to Praduma, but he said, oh no, you just got out of the hospital. Praduma had just had a hernia and he had it removed. You are suffering, therefore it is okay.
Thank you. Where was I? Yeah, right. So, in fact, Prabhupada taught the devotees how to make carrot halava. So why was that? Because nowadays, everyone is coming into, well, in the Gaudiya Math, they were like more brought up like that. But nowadays, and for a long time, when devotees join, they come into a society where everyone is doing it, where it's easy to do, where they're surrounded by devotees who've been practicing for many years. But when Prabhupada came, we were all basically animals and just came out of all the sinful activities and not knowing anything. So Gurudev said Prabhupada made a compromise in the beginning, but he wouldn't want you to compromise now after so long. I'm sorry? About what's in... The restricted foods of Vasanti just said is coming from Hare Bhakti Vilas. Thank you. That's a book of rules and regulations, do's and don'ts, by Srila Sanatana Goswami. Did you want to say something, Lada?
Also on purebhakti.com, we have a nice write-up that I think you made a long time back. It's on purebhakti.com. It has all the different prohibited foodstuffs in a nice condensed form.
Some things just make no sense though.
Yeah, well,
Like tamarind.
tamarind is not allowed on Ekadasi. My Gurudev says never.
Tamarind's a fruit.
Yeah, I know, but it's something to do with the gunas. It has to do with the Rajagun. But anyways, it's really nice and condensed there. That way you don't have to look through Hare Bhakti Vilas and become scared from all the other rules that are there. You can look right on purebhakti.com.
As a matter of fact, thank you for mentioning that you don't have to look at the other rules, because in 1969, when Srila Prabhupada was in Boston, I asked, You're talking about the kitchen? I asked him, if you're cooking in the kitchen and your hand touches your clothing, do you have to wash before resuming the cooking? And he said, if your clothing is clean, then you don't have to wash your hands. And if your clothing is not clean, you shouldn't be in the kitchen. Then he said, there are so many rules that if I told you them, you would faint. So in the meantime, I'm telling you some, and then make up the balance by chanting Hare Krishna, and then more and more will come as you can take them. So but I know your question was why these particular ones too. So
And also,
that seems so innocent.
and also, I wonder, no, but I also wonder, like, is it that the pop is actually in them the way it's in grains, or is it that we avoid them because we're trying to have a
Austerity.
like they're avoided to facilitate a more simple diet, or is it that the pop is actually in them? Like, I know the pop is actually in the grain, but is it that they're actually, like, is that why Prabhupada gave a concession that you can have those things?
Mhm.
Sin is not
Yeah.
actually
My understanding when I asked Gurudev, that was a long time ago, I could have gotten it, I could have remembered wrong, but it was that yes, they're in them. But just to confirm, if somebody reminds me, I'll ask Sripad Madhav Maharaj today. Okay, then more on Ekadasi. In Jagannath Puri, when Mahaprabhu was present, the Pandas were very upset because on the other days of the year, they could sell their Jagannath sweets, anything with grains. And on that day, they couldn't, so they were worried about losing money. So they thought, we have to hang Ekadasi Devi upside down on a tree. And so if we give Mahaprabhu the Jagannath Prasad grains, and he takes it, then all of his hundreds of thousands of followers will also take it. So they gave Mahaprabhu the grains, and then he offered his obeisances and sang kirtan all throughout the night, including prasadam-related kirtans like Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnavi. And then the next morning, when the Titi was ready to do Padan, he worshipped and did all of his morning worship, and then he took the grain. So that was his example. I just want to mention something about the Mahaprasadi Govinde. In case any of you don't know, because you're very new, on Ekadasi we don't chant Surira Avijajal because there's the word Anna there, which means grains. Anna Amrita, the nectar grains. And also there's another prayer that Srila Gurudev taught us for offering obeisances to Mahaprasad. That's also for Krishna, but it's also for Mahaprasad, which see if I can remember it. Pray, you remember? Prema, what? You just said it. Prema, no. Prema vanchame, kama vanchame, jiva nanchame. No, that's the last line. Well, it means bhaiva vanchame. Oh, I'm skipping some words. It's been so long. And the last line is jiva tanchame, jiva nanchame, jiva tanchame. And that is that, O Mahaprasad, Sumukhi, can you stand? O Mahaprasad, you can give me prema bhakti. In fact, you can give me the love of the gopis. You are my wealth. You are my wealth. You are my life. You are the life of my life. So that's an amazing thing about Mahaprasadam. It's our life, but it's not that cake is our life. Cake prasadam is my life. Or chocolate brownies is my life. But what is my life? To know that Mahaprasad is non-different from Krishna. Mahaprasade Govinde. O Mahaprasad, you are non-different from Radha, Govinda, and all of your pastimes. Nama, you're non-different from the holy name. Brahmani Vaishnavi, you're non-different from the pure Brahmanas and the pure Vaishnavas. Therefore, you can give me whatever they can give me. So I offer my prayers to you. Yes.
So
Sorry?
sometimes when we don't finish prasad, we throw it. And the other day I noticed that someone had taken the Jagannath Kaja from Puri and thrown it in the trash. So I took it out of the trash,
The whole thing?
like half of it. So I took it out of the trash because they say like Jagannath Prasad can never be contaminated. Even if a dog eats it, you can still eat it after. So then I was talking to Raga. So Raga said, well, Krishna Prasad can never be contaminated either. And I was like, yeah, but Jagannath Prasad. So what is it that makes Jagannath Prasad so different than like, okay, if I don't finish my quinoa, I'm gonna throw it away. But if I see like a Jagannath Kaja in the trash, that's like more shocking and I want to take it out.
And the answer, I don't know. So that's if somebody reminds me, I'll ask Shripad Madhav Maharaj. But one thing is the consciousness with which I throw it. I'm not speaking about that it's okay to throw out Jagannath Prasad, but like when there's really, like sometimes in the prasadam refrigerator we find days old prasadam that nobody took. So if we're throwing the prasadam, then if we want to free ourselves from the reaction of throwing out prasadam, then we can make our mentality this, colon. Like there was another Miami temple of Gurudev's before this that was run by Raghunath Das, remember? And so there was a river right in the backyard. So I used to throw prasadam, leftover prasadam, in the river for the fish. And there's even insects in the river too. Even if I throw prasad in the garbage, my thinking is, I'm not throwing prasad, I'm distributing prasad to all the animals in there, the insects, the bacteria, and they're all making advancement by eating the Mahaprasad. So then it becomes not an offense, unless I really don't have to throw it out, but I do. Louder?
So, I have a question about remnants then. Like, why would I want to give my remnants to anyone or anything at all? And then it would, like, I speculate, so my speculation would be like, oh, well, yeah, prasadam can be contaminated, but then why don't I take the remnants of others that, like, but just in general.
Why on one hand do we hear that once somebody's eaten the prasad and then left it, it's juta, or contaminated? And why then would I want to throw my leftover prasadam away? Why would I want to contaminate any other living entity? For who we're giving the prasadam to, the bacteria, the fish and all them, it's fine. Better that they have contaminated prasadam than no prasadam. With people, you can get the consciousness of the other person, you can get the disease of another person. So therefore we don't take remnants. Conversely, in one prayer by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he said, when he was praying that, let me never have the conception that I'm Guru, just like you all heard yesterday in a lecture by Srila Bhakti Ballabhtirtha Goswami Maharaj, that if anyone thinks he's Guru, he immediately falls down. If anybody thinks that he's superior to others, he falls down. And so Srila Bhakti Dwight Madhav Maharaj and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada would consider their disciples as blessing them by association. and I'm serving you. Srila Bhakti began Bharati Goswami Maharaj said on his appearance day, I'm accepting your service as a service to you because you're observing the principle of Vyasa Puja. So I'm considering that I'm your servant. Why am I sitting higher than you? Because I'm considering that I'm your servant and accepting your blessings in the form of service so that I can serve you. And of course, offer your service to Radha and Krishna. Did I skip something? Did I answer your question? And we will get the rest of the information from Sripad Madhav Maharaj. Madhav Maharaj is almost as good as AI. Because you ask AI a question on your phone, and in half a second you get the answer. Yeah, that is correct. All right, so, huh?
The other day I asked this question at Supreme Lord, and it gave me a really great answer. Not that bad.
Well, when we ask, what is Prabhupada's books, or what are the Vedic literatures, or what does Srila Narayan Maharaj's books say about something, it can give that answer. All right, so let's go on now to the hellish planets. We have how many more minutes? 10? Gadagraji Prabhu, do you mind getting the 5th canto, 2nd volume? Oh, that means it's in my room. Thanks. I hope somebody is keeping track of the questions, all the questions for Sripad Madhav Maharaj. Not only one, but there's a few. Will you remember? Yes. Okay. While she's there, there's another section in the Harmony book called Criticize and Lose the Holy Name. There's five main limbs of bhakti. If one associates with devotees, here Srimad Bhagavatam in his association worships the deity with, can you find the chapter called Hellish Planets? Worshipping the deity with faith, chanting the holy name. But that's the quickest way to advance in bhakti and to get prem. And then Gurudev said, but there's one condition, and that is the avoidance and disrespecting or offending Vaishnavas. This is our dilemma. We chant the holy name, but we criticize, so we don't get any benefit from chanting the holy name, because the holy name is a person, as we know. In fact, all the incarnations are in the holy name too. All the pastimes are in the holy name. So the holy name can easily walk away. In fact, the Harikatha from Gurudev that I sent out yesterday, Gurudev said, don't even criticize an ordinary person, what to speak of a Vaishnava. Yes?
So, like, sometimes I don't want to be critical, but in my mind, like, critical thoughts come. So how do I fix that?
This is actually one of the questions that Srila Gurudev was asked, that's in this Harmony book. In one of his morning walks. Wow, he says so many things about it. So, in the mind also, even if we don't voice it, but if we criticize in the mind, that's also an offense to the holy name. And I don't know why it's not here. Yes. And he said, these are some things to remember to help our mind. He said, you're not authorized to criticize. Only Balaram, Nityananda, Akhanda Guru Tattva, Guru is authorized, but you're not authorized. Must be in another chapter. Yes. Anandini asked, how can I stop myself from criticizing? So Gurudev said, you can criticize yourself, but not others. This is an offense, and bhakti will go away, so be careful. Then Prakashatma Prabhu asked, how can I curb my tendency to always speak prajalpa and criticize others? Gurudev replied, you can do so by always being in sadhu sangha and hearing Hare Katha. Pariksit Maharaj had no time to speak with anyone, or to sleep or eat or drink. He was drinking only the nectar of Krishna Lila. Sadhu Sangha is the best medicine. Chant the holy name in Sadhu Sangha. Do not associate with persons who are chattering and pattering. Read books and engage your mind at all times. If you do not engage the mind, then it will automatically engage itself in bad things. The mind wants something to eat, so we should give it Hari Bhakti, Hari Katha, as much as you can hear and chant and meditate on. Pankaj asked, yesterday you said we should not criticize or praise anybody, but sometimes the praises shouldn't even be there. We shouldn't praise karmis because we get their qualities. But sometimes we criticize in our minds. And Gurudev said, I know you criticize, because Guru knows the pulse of the disciple. And so he can hear when we think something. Yeah. This is a very bad thing. Do not do this. So Pankaj said, by tongue we may not criticize, but criticism starts from the mind. Gurudev said we should also try to take it out of our mind. Try to see in individuals good qualifications. And then he quotes a verse from Anjalila. Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respects to anyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. That was a katha from just a day or two ago that Maharaj Ambarish, when Durvasa Muni wanted to kill him and sent the fire demoness, and then the Sudarshan Chakra started chasing Durvasa for a whole year. And during that whole year, he wanted to kill him because he wanted to observe Padan at the right time. So he had to eat before his guest came back. He was observing Ekadasi and he had to do something before his guest came back, otherwise he would lose his Ekadasi. So Durvasa tried to kill him, and then because the Sudarshan was chasing Durvasa around the universe for a year, during that whole year, Maharaj Ambarish fasted, thinking that he was the cause of Durvasa's suffering and that Durvasa was fine. He didn't do anything wrong to him. So now we'll just start. Regarding the Guru knowing what's in the heart and mind, Gurudev told me once my mind is a demon. One of the devotees in Houston, Arati, the wife of Vishnu, Prabhu, she told me that when she was young and just got Gayatri, Gurudev said, "You're not calling me. I don't hear you call me. I'm Guruve Swaha." So we'll just begin so that we will have begun the hellish planets. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami. Who's King Parikshit? A gopi. And who's Sukadeva Goswami? Good. My dear sir, why are the living entities put into different material situations? Can everybody wake up? Thank you. I know you had busy days, but still, if you find yourself falling asleep, I just remembered Sri Padmana Maharaj when devotees were sleeping in Gurudev's class, and Gurudev said, "Don't sleep." And then Madhav Maharaj would kind of sing a jingle. Don't go into trance, we're not in France. My dear sir, why are the living entities put into different material situations? Kindly explain this to me. The great sage Sukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, in this material world there are three kinds of activities. Those in the mode of goodness, in passion, and in ignorance. Because all people are influenced by the three modes of nature, the results of their activities are also divided into three. One who acts in the mode of goodness is religious and happy. One who acts in passion achieves mixed misery and happiness. And one who acts in the influence of ignorance is always unhappy and lives like an animal. Because of the varying degrees to which the living entities are influenced by the different modes of nature, their destinations are also of different varieties. Verse number 3. Just as by executing various pious activities, one achieves different positions in heavenly life, by acting impiously, one achieves positions in hellish life. Those who are activated by the material mode of ignorance engage in impious activity, and according to the extent of their ignorance, why do I have to suffer just because I'm in the mode of ignorance? Why am I in the mode of ignorance? Because I did sinful activities. If one acts in the mode of ignorance because of madness, his resulting misery is the least severe. One who acts impiously but knows the distinction between pious and impious activities is placed in a hell of intermediate severity. And for one who acts impiously and ignorantly because of atheism, the result in hellish life is the worst. Because of ignorance, every living entity has been carried by various desires into thousands of different hellish planets. Since time immemorial, we've really been around since the beginning of time. I shall try to describe them as far as possible. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami, My dear Lord, are the hellish regions outside the universe, within the covering of the universe, or in different places on this planet? This is the last verse I'll read. The great sage Sukadeva Goswami answered, All the hellish planets are situated in the intermediate space between the three worlds and the Garbhodak ocean. So, you all know the painting of Garbhodakshai Vishnu lying down on the serpent Anantashesh, and feet are being massaged by Lakshmi, And then there's a stem going up from his navel to where Brahma lives. Haridas to the rescue. And so there's a space between the three worlds that is upper. We read about the subterranean heavenly planets, the middle planets, the heavenly planets. So there's a space between that and the Garbhodak ocean. And that's where the hellish planets are. They lie on the southern side of the universe, beneath Bhumandal and slightly above the water of Garbhodak ocean. Pitriloka is also located in this region between the Garbhodak ocean and the lower planetary systems. All the residents of Pitriloka, headed by Agni Svata, meditate in great samadhi on the Supreme Lord and always wish their families well. Pitriloka means the planet of the ancestors, or Pitris.
What does that mean, Didi, the planet of the ancestors? Because don't the ancestors just take birth again? Like after they... No, like after... What does that mean? Like after people die, they take another form.
That's true, yes?
So, like, it's really common in Mexican culture and then also in some Indian cultures where they worship the ancestors. They have like an altar with the ancestors and they feed them prasadam. It's like next to the altar in a lot of Bengali houses. And supposedly those ancestors, which you continuously do puja to, they go somewhere else.
Somewhere else other than what?
Other than taking a birth again. Like, you do that so they don't have to take birth in this material world again.
That doesn't make
It doesn't make sense.
That's what I was told. I asked Rasaraj, I said, why do you have...
That means you wipe out their karma?
No, they just they go to Pitriloka. I guess it's a different karma.
Can you write it down?
Pitriloka, that's why they're doing the puja.
It does have to do with the ancestors who get particular treatment by their descendants. But I don't know what the details are. So it's a raga.
Yeah, can you rephrase the question?
What's the significance of Pitriloka? If it's the planet of the ancestors, why would some ancestors go there and some ancestors go elsewhere? Because they have to take birth again anyway.
Maybe they go there first and then they take... I mean, everybody is an ancestor. Everybody that has...
That's a fact.
Like, everyone that has children is an ancestor, so it doesn't... it doesn't really make sense.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true, Radhika. And so I'm also going to look today in folio and see what Prabhupada and Gurudev says about that. Tomorrow we'll have a lot of answers, I think. Okay. Sometimes, Sripad Maharaj, if I ask early enough in the day, the answer comes right back. And in the middle of the day or the night, it comes back the next morning. Okay, so any last question? Okay, Gaur Premanandi, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Ekadasi Vrat ki jai, Ekadasi Vrat Palan Kori Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Do you know what that means? Ekadasi Vrat means the vow of Ekadasi. Palan Kori means following, observing. Bhakta Vrinda, the devotees who are observing Ekadasi, all glories to them. In the beginning of the movement in 1966 or 7, when Prasadam was coming down, Prabhupada said, all glories to the supplier of Prasadam, because some of the devotees had cooked, and all glories to the taker of Prasadam. Yes?
I was grabbing the book and I missed it. So the hellish planets, they're located by the ocean? By the ocean, causal ocean?
No, by a little bit above the Garbhodak ocean.
That's beneath the three low planetary systems.
Yeah. But the planetary systems, like hellish, middle, and heavenly, is not quite the same thing as the hellish planets. In the hellish planets, it's not a material body. It's kind of another subtle body that covers your subtle body, because otherwise you die when you get thrown off a mountain. But no, you just break into pieces, and then the Yamadutas put you back together, bring you up the mountain, and throw you down again. Yeah. But it's a place of practice. It's a place of practice, like if you're forced to eat stool or forced to eat, you're a worm, and then you eat other worms and other worms eat you. It's a practice. So then when you become a pig from your karma, you love it.
But
Okay.
it's all like the timing is all like bazillions of years might be just like 1 second.
Yeah, it's on a subtle level. We'll find about it. We'll be getting into the understanding as we go along. Go Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Bo Hari Bo, Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Bo. It's like one of those sound things, sound healing. Panchakopatirubhyascha kripasinubheva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Vasanti, do you want to have the 5-minute thing? So Vasanti wants to have a 5-minute thing, so we're going to.